It's wearing my skin. It hangs misshapen off its form, tight across the shoulders, bunched at the hips, rolls of flesh wrinkled down the legs. It hides most of it with clothes, but I know. The smile isn't quite right. My lips misaligned on its teeth, making it look like it has a constant smirk, but it's not me. I'm not smirking. It's just that the thing's cheekbones snagged my philtrum and pulled it to the side. Also, the nose isn't quite right. You'd be forgiven not to notice these things. I hardly notice them, and I've seen my face in the mirror every day for over 30 years. At first, I thought it was a doppelganger, a tulpa, some other me walking through our universe, but then I felt the cool breeze on my fleshy insides, the dripping blood pushing through my muscle tissue and pulling on the floor, and I saw it for what it was. What I'm saying is, don't feel too bad if you think it's me. It's wearing my skin, and it walks with a limp. I don't know why. Maybe it always had a limp, or maybe the way my skin pulls against its leg shortens its gait. Maybe I always walked with a limp and I just didn't notice. I don't know. It's possible. There are so many things I never noticed about my body until it was worn by something else. Like the mole on the back of my neck. I can't tell if it looks misshapen, maybe cancerous. Skin cancer runs in my family. How am I supposed to know what looks misshapen? I don't even know what looks normal. I guess at least I won't need to worry about skin cancer now. Or maybe I will, and I'll just have skin cancer without the skin. How deep does skin cancer spread into the body? Skin is so thin, just half a millimeter in some places. How can something so thin kill us? Such fragile flesh, and now it's pulled across this thing in front of me. My fingers stick to the keyboard, the muscle mass wrapped around my skeleton, dripping gore across the buttons as I type. Smudged, I can't even read the letters anymore. I'm just writing on muscle memory. Muscle memory is all I have left. It's wearing my skin, but its voice is different. My voice is a bit higher pitched, even if I don't hear it that way when I talk. Internal resonance. Its voice is deeper, raspier, like an angry whisper. I've heard that voice before, but I can't quite remember where. It itches the back of my mind when I hear it talk, a vague familiarity, but when I search for it, the memory, it slips away. It tells people I have a cold when they ask about the voice. I don't have a cold. It goes to work for me, sits in my chair and types away. I've seen the emails, just a jumble of letters on the page, the only words a mishmash of grammatically incorrect garbage snapped into place by autocorrect. Each reply is hazier than the last. Somehow, it earned me a promotion. It's one of those jobs with a flashy title that doesn't actually mean anything, assistant to the vice or something. Words that only serve to separate you from your coworkers enough to make things awkward, but not enough to change much in your life. I'm more surprised at the desire for more inane email chatter. It's wearing my skin and keeps looking at itself in the mirror, studying how my flesh stretches across its body. It pulls it this way and that. Looks uncomfortable. It sleeps sitting up with its eyes open. I slither my way through the shadows of night, trying to stay out of its gaze. Its head turns to me, tracking my movement like a camera, but it doesn't react. It doesn't get up or chase me away, like it doesn't care that I'm there. Like I matter so little to it. It just wants me to know that it knows that I'm there. It smells too, like sweat and mold. I can't imagine what it must be like to be trapped in an elevator with it, but as far as I know, HR hasn't talked to it. I don't think anyone has. In fact, it keeps coming home later and later, paraded through late day happy hours I always thought were something you only saw on TV. Walks in smelling like beer, and not cheap beer, the amber liquid pooling in the flabs of my skin around its mouth. It showers with its clothes on, and I've never seen it do a load of laundry. The water is so hot that the entire bathroom is steam. My skin is pink and raw when it walks out, still wearing my suit. It peels off the clothes and crouches naked in the room, only not really naked because my skin is its clothes, I guess, but if it were me, I'd be naked. I've seen it stay crouched that way for hours, dripping dry. It's wearing my skin and it chews with its mouth open. Doesn't go on dates, thank God, just sits in my apartment with the lights off and eats handfuls of raw meat. I don't even know where he gets it from. It comes home and it unwrapped in a stained paper bag. It sits on the couch staring at the TV with nothing on, grainy static, and eats handful after handful. It squelches in its teeth and runs red down the limp flesh of my lips and neck. All my clothes are stained. I've tried catching glimpses of it under the ill-fitting skin, but it always catches me looking and turns away before I see anything. I saw some hair one time sticking out from between my eye sockets, but I couldn't tell if it was fur or remnants of a long beard. It curls its toes against the skin of my soles, and I think I've only counted 3, but I can't tell if it only has 3 toes or if it only curls 3 toes. The more I try to learn about it, the less I know. Like, one time, when I was at work, I was walking around the apartment trying to find anything I could about it. I put on rubber gloves to avoid leaving bloody handprints all over. My fingers hung limply in the gloves like a used condom, and it made me question how my guts were still clinging to me. Sure, they are bulging a little and oozing, but nothing has fallen to the floor like in the movies. I always thought it was skin that kept things in. Am I a used condom? Anyway, I opened the master bedroom closet and found that it had ripped up a bunch of paper and torn apart my entire wardrobe into long strips. And then it had soaked them all together, not sure how, maybe it spit, and built them around my plastic clothes hamper into a wadded nest. Like a wasp nest, haphazard and dangerous, not the serenity of a bird's nest. But as far as I can tell, it never sleeps in it, nor does it keep anything there. It's just there. I'm getting hungry now. I've eaten the last of the dried pasta and the canned tuna and baked beans and creamed corn tucked in the back of my pantry. The milk in the refrigerator is spoiled and I'm afraid to open the door. It doesn't care, but it isn't locked inside all day on its own like I am. I'm afraid to leave. What would people say if they saw me without my skin? What would I say if I saw someone without their skin? It's wearing my skin and it screams at night, all night, a high-pitched shriek like one of those tropical birds you see at the zoo. How do they make that sound? It's a syrinx. I just looked it up in an old encyclopedia. The pages are now matted with blood and I probably won't be able to open it again, but at least I know. My fingers and hands have left gory smudges all over my house. The thing in my skin walks up the stairs sometimes, each step halting as if it's balancing with each footfall. I hear the wood creak beneath its feet, count them as it goes. I followed it, scurrying up the steps behind it on all fours, my limbs sliding across wood slicked with viscera. The lights are never on, and I've gotten better at seeing at night, adjusting to the darkness. What would I see in the light anyway? I don't want to look at myself anymore. The glimpses I catch churn my stomach like an infected wound, and I hate myself. I hate what I have become, and I hate that I've accepted it. I can hear it in the closet by the nest, and it's throwing up a guttural that sounds like its organs restricting and expanding. It has been days since I've eaten. I feel like I'm wasting away, my muscles pulling taut across my bones. The yellow fat that had clung to my sides has melted, butter smearing the floor, cabinets, and couch fabric. I don't have the energy to follow it up the stairs anymore. It's wearing my skin, and it is carrying me. What a sensation to be carried in your own arms, arms that are no longer yours, but arms that hold you close. I hardly open my eyes at each halting step up the stairs, the creaking beneath me echoing like a funeral dirge. It carries me into my old bedroom, now a tattered approximation of what it once was. Shredded sheets, pillows pulled out in a mess of synthetic feathers, the blinds ripped from the window frame. The floor crunches as it walks, but I can't turn my head to see what it's stepping on. The nest is bigger. It grows outside the closet door, and I think I see it pulsing, like a marshmallow expanding in the microwave before you smush it between graham crackers. It smells horribly of rot. The scent clings to my nostrils, and I try to puke up the nothing inside myself, dry heaving to try and escape. But instead, it shoves me into the grotesque mass, burrows my body into sticky cloth and broken bedposts. I am enveloped by it. I can't move my legs, I can't move my arms. I don't know if I could, even if I had the strength. I'm so consumed. It leaves me with only my head sticking out. Picks up a paper bag from the floor. The smell of blood wafts out, overpowering even the deep rot around me. Pulls out a handful of rancid flesh and shoves it toward my mouth. I pull weakly away, but I have nowhere to go, and it smears across my face, covering my cheeks, clogging my nose. I am suffocating to death on raw spoiled meat, and my mouth gasps open to pull in breath, and as I do, I am filled with it. I swallow hungrily, greedily, sucking it into my body. I pull in a wet breath until I again am filled with dead flesh. I'm no longer breathing air, only bloody mass. This goes on for a time until the bag is empty and I am full. I pull my tongue across my lips, trying to capture the remains still smeared there. But before I can slurp the last of it into my mouth, it begins to use my hands to drag wet clumps of the nest over my head, and I close my mouth to avoid choking on it. My vision collapses beneath the fetid mass, graying out and then going entirely black. I don't see but feel the thing in my skin leave. The darkness goes on for days until I lose all meaning of myself and can't remember where my flesh ends and the pulpy mess begins. I am become rot, and the rot am become me, and I think, and the rot thinks, and the rot moves, and so do I. I hear footsteps. My feet, but in that halting way, crunching over whatever is covering my bedroom floor. Crunch, it says, crunch, I am coming. I let it come. I wait and soon feel the rotted flesh I now am separating, pulling apart from myself. It hurts as I am sloughed off. Phantom limb gore, I feel it strike the floor. I am becoming. I was, I became, and now become again as each handful slaps to the fake wooden panels. My eyes open, muck clings to my eyelids, threatens to rip them off, and I let it. I look up at my own smiling face. It fits better than the last time I saw it. Like the thing feels more comfortable in my skin, like it finally grew into me. I can hardly see the gaps around the eyes and mouth, and I find I don't even care. Let it have my skin, it looks better in it anyway. I fall onto all fours, my palms crush into what feels like eggshells, and I look down to see millions of fingernails clipped and discarded around me. I look at my hands and find the wet blanket that has become my skin, holding me in a shell of stink from which I cannot escape, and I am rapturously joyous. It gives me a handful of raw meat, and I eat hungrily, slurping it and even licking the skin clean between the fingers before it pulls out another handful. I whine for more, and it takes a step back. I follow, scampering on my hands and knees, clipped nails biting into my shins as I scoot across the floor until my teeth sink into mushy flesh again, sucking it into myself. More, I think, more. Give me more. It is wearing my skin, and I am changed. So that was Histolysis.